inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Content, hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell. I wanna taste consumption. Breathe faster to waste oxygen. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music till the wick burns out. Be carefree lately, yeah. Just picking up daisies, got
the dark nights. I hit the strip and spend it all, I'm having hard times. That reminiscing had me looking through the archives. I seen a picture of you looking like the star shines. And you're bright, 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 bright. Like the lights on a fight night, night. Love hit me like a mic, mic, mic. You know I'ma get it right, right, right.
Hello and welcome to round 18 of the Spec F1 Esports PS4 Pacific Series Tier 1 League here in Mexico City for the Mexican Grand Prix. My name is Expert and I'll be your commentator for tonight's race. As I said, we are here in the heart of Mexico City, one of the most probably coolest places to actually be a spectator at this race circuit, especially through the stadium section that the circuit does have here available to everyone. But let's have a quick look at your driver standings. I do apologize, they're a little bit small. I should probably fix them up, but as you can see, Zach Crichton leads away at the moment behind Aaron. X-Revolution 40 in position 4 at the moment. Toddster, Spilly, Plebs, Crossy, Jay Schmidt and Swaggy rounds out your top 10. I do apologize, they are actually really small. Romy Alonso, Pure Gold, VSR Roscoe, I'm Curving Texas, Dr. Dre, Crossy F1, sorry, I Contrast F1 rather, Very Lazy Towel, Gaming Burger, Gunners, and Banana Cake Pie rounds out your constructor standings. Let's have a quick look now at your driver standings, rather. Let's have a quick look now at your constructor standings. Mercedes top the constructor standings at the moment on 298 points, I believe that says. Yes, that does say that. 279, sorry, for Ferrari. Then Racing Point in position 3. Red Bull P4, P5 McLaren on 212. Then it's Williams, Renault, Alfa Romeo, Toro Rosso, and Haas on 1 point here on your constructor standings. But let's get a few track stats for you here. Just as I can see the drivers loading in to the session, you can see we are in Mexico City for round 18 of the PS4 Pacific Series. 4.304 kilometer circuit, 17 corners, 7 to the left and 10 to the right, and there are 2 major DRS zones on this circuit. Obviously this is the 2019 game, not the 2020, so there's actually 3 DRS zones now. I only just realized about 10 minutes ago in the 2020 version of this racetrack. But let's swap it over to the main screen. As you can see, the drivers are about to head out for their qualifying session. The session is about to begin. Let me know some predictions in the live chat. Sorry, I just want to put this back here because I don't know if a copyrighted thing's going to come up. No, it's all good. Sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to get copyright struck. My apologies. I'll just bring my mic a little closer so you guys can hear me. Hey guys, welcome to stream as well. See a lot of emojis been spammed very early in this session, so let's see how it goes. Unmute the desktop audio. There you go. Bring up some telemetry as well for you guys. It's going to be a great race here this afternoon. Obviously, this track is pretty good for when it comes to overtaking. It's not the hardest around there. It is a pretty good track for overtaking. Just trying to get my mic a little bit closer, so hopefully that sounds a bit better. Just trying to fix it. There you go. That should sound a bit better now. You might be able to hear me a little bit clearer. Alright, so a couple of drivers heading out of the pit lane now. They're about to... Well, they will be the first drivers out of the pits. As you can see, the McLaren of X-Revolution will be the first out of the pit lane for the qualifying session here this afternoon. He does have Banana Cake Pie right behind him, though. They're trying to race for the ones to be the first to complete a lap. Obviously, it looks like they will be doing a soft strategy here. The X-Revolution is currently on the soft compound tyre. Banana Cake Pie on the mediums, obviously, but he might just be doing a banker run in on that Red Bull car, or for that Red Bull car. I'll bring up the chat now for you guys. Well, I'll bring up the chat so I can see you guys talking, I should say. Yeah, it's been very close as well. We also need to point out that Zach Crichton can actually win the championship here this afternoon as well. So I will have a little list that is actually courtesy of BKXI, who's in this league for Mercedes. So thank you to him for providing that to us. We have a few predictions coming in from the chat. I'll try and read them out now. Thank you everyone coming to the stream. Cool Kyogre, Alex, Racer X, Banana Cake Pie coming into the stream very early. Hanko, welcome to stream, mate. Marco, Lewis, Jimmy James, how you going, mate? Young Lights, thank you, and welcome everyone to the stream. Alright, I think we do have a prediction here now from Hanko. 40, he reckons 40 will qualify on pole position. Then it'll be Extra Evolution, sorry, Zach and Extra Evolution. Young Lights rooting for Footy Dad, who's currently down in position 17. He'll be driving for Toro Rosso here this afternoon. I believe he is one of the reserve drivers. He's coming out on the soft compound tyres for the first time this season, I believe. This is his first race for the PS4 Pacific Series. Coming in very late to the season, but it doesn't really matter. He's filling in a spot there for Toro Rosso, and I believe that is Breno's spot, I believe. I think it's Breno's spot. I'm not too sure. Actually, no, it's Dr. Dre's spot, rather. Sorry about that. So Dr. Dre, unfortunately, wasn't able to make it here this afternoon. So the reserve driver of WCR Footy, Dad 75, will be replacing him. But yeah, back to Hanko's prediction. He reckons 40. Zach, Extra Evolution will be the order for the qualifying session. Then it'll be Aaron, Spilly, BK, Racer X reckons, as Todser is the first driver to put a lap time on the board. 14.7 there for the Williams driver. I'm honestly not too sure on pace in these around the circuit. But let's ride on board Pure Gold. We actually haven't done a lap with him like we normally do, so that's why unfortunately I think he's invalidated to his time. So he will now be coming back into the pits. This is the final sector as well. A lot of more drivers setting lap times now. 9/100ths of a second faster than Todd. So goes Extra Evolution, a 14.707 for the McLaren driver. Then it will be Spilly in position 3 is now Crossy F1 pole position on a 1:14.4 for the Ferrari team, looking very pacey off the beginning. At the beginning of this session, Banana Cake Pie in position 5 for Red Bull, a 16.5 for him, obviously on that medium tyre, and then also Spilly 16.2 on the hard. So I think we will see them all go onto that soft compound tyre, the red stripe tyre, later on in this session to set the fastest lap possible. Try and find some more drivers that are coming towards the end of a lap. Curving Texas is starting a lap, nearly corner cuts. That's actually, I think he's finished a lap, to be honest. He may have unfortunately invalidated. Now Zach Crichton goes pole with a 1 minute 14.430, so 1/100th of a second faster than Crossy's time. Who else has just come in? 40 now, pole position with a 14.1. So very quick times here off the bat from all the drivers. Both Ferraris in position, or in the top 3 at the moment. BK slotted himself into position 6 as well on a 15.7. Little over a second, I should say, between himself and 40, who's currently sitting on pole position. Brenner's now gone up into position 9 for Haas on a 16.6, but let me quickly bring this up. BK's little note that he's given me, how Zach can win the championship. Alright, so basically, if he wins the race today, there's no questions asked, wherever Extra Evolution or, who is it? It's 40, I believe. Is it 40? No, it's Aaron, sorry. Extra Evolution and Aaron, because those two are the ones battling. Well, they're not actually really battling. Zach has a 98-point lead, I believe, heading into this round. So he's not really the battle for the championship at the moment. Zach can comfortably take it if he just finishes the remaining races in the season. But if Zach wins today for Mercedes, he will become the champion for Season 2 of the Race Spec Esports PS4 Pacific Series Tier 1 League. Obviously, I don't actually remember. I will give you a little update, actually, on who won Season 1. I think I know who it is, but if I get it wrong, I don't want to get it wrong, is what I'm needing to do. So, if I go to standings, Pacific Series, I apologise. I want to just make sure I get this right. So, I believe it was Zach, was it? I'm not sure. No, it was F1 Amazing Out actually won last season of the PS4 Pacific Series Tier 1, then it was Plebs in P2, then 40. So Zach Crichton finished P5. Obviously, he was known as Pete Crichton back then. He has changed his name back to what his actual name is now. So yeah, so unfortunately, Amazing Out does not race in this league anymore for numerous reasons. So Zach Crichton could be on for the second season Drivers' Championship. I believe Mercedes haven't actually wound it up yet, either in the driver's standings. I do need to bring up or have it up on my screen, so I am always looking at it. Let's try and find a driver that isn't on a lap, though. Looks like Extra Evolution and Todster all coming out of the pits now. Toddy's in position 5 at the moment on a 14.7 for Williams. Let's try and find some more drivers. Only 9 drivers have set a lap so far. Try and find a driver that's coming towards the end of the line. WCR Footy Dad now goes into position 7 for Toro Rosso on a 16.2. Let's see what the Toro Rosso driver, the reserve driver, is able to do here this afternoon. Let's head down to Plebs to see if he's on a lap. He's starting a lap now. Let's ride on board with the Renault driver. We haven't rode on board with anyone as of yet, as he heads down into turn 1. Braking around the 100 metre board. He's got a little bit of traffic on the right. Turned it in very early for this corner, a lot earlier than what you actually think. Actually get an advantage because you are turning. It helps slow the car down a lot, but unfortunately he's got a lot of oversteer there. He's going to have Curving Texas in front of him. He's going to give him a little bit of a tow. They're both Renault teammates working together, but unfortunately Plebs just didn't have a really good exit there heading through that first chicane. Heading through the second sector now. Wasn't any purple sectors there for the Renault driver. Runs a little bit wide there through that double right-hander. A lot of spectating spots here around the Mexican Grand Prix circuit, as I've said in the pre-show. Now through the S section, probably the hardest section to follow on the racetrack, to be honest. And very easy also to invalidate your time, as you can see the number 15 Renault car coming up to the final sector now. He sets a 55.932 for his second sector split. Coming up to the final sector now, as you can see, he's currently in the stadium section. Heading up to turn 16 now, the penultimate corner of the racetrack. Does he keep it tight? Normally the fast thing to do, but unfortunately he's made a massive error here as Plebs, and he's going to drop into position 7 somehow. 15.4, so he made a lot of mistakes there in that lap there to Plebs, but he still managed position 7, so could see some real good times here coming from the Renault driver potentially, but Curving Texas as well, I think will be starting a lap now. He will get a little bit of a tow from his teammate, I believe. They'll be trying to return the favour. You can see Plebs. Oh, Zach Crichton's actually there as well. So Plebs actually gets out of the way, so he doesn't give his teammate a tow there, which I thought he would have. Would have been a bit of a nice thing considering Curving did it to him, but he might actually get a slight tow. He will Curving off to Zach. No, he won't actually. So Curving Texas now heading into the second sector. Let's ride him on board with the other Renault. Let's see how tidy this lap is compared to his teammates. Hits that apex nicely there. Does Curving Texas. Yeah, I have a little update on the points. So it's actually 84 points, sorry, between Aaron and Zach heading into this round. Let's have a quick look here though. Aaron and Extra Evolution though in position 2 and 3. Currently 5 points separate them, so that battle is definitely not over. Or nor is 40 actually. He's technically 15 points behind, but unfortunately had a very poor round last race at the Japanese Grand Prix, and unfortunately he has dropped a couple of points behind. There was actually 3 points separating those three heading into that round, so it was obviously going to be changed around post-race. But let's see what Curving Texas can do now, heading up to the line for his first official run. He now drops into position 9, just in front of his teammate, a tenth of a second faster for the Renault driver, 1 minute 15.310. So a lot of drivers have now set their times. Pure Gold's also jumped up into position 7 for Alfa Romeo on a 15 flat. Zach Crichton now P4 on a 14.4 as well. I don't know if he was able to improve on his time there at all. And he's now going to be trying to get back around. Swaggy's jumped up also in a position 3 on a 14.3. So he's been having some real good pace lately, has Swaggy. So let's see what he's able to do today here in Mexico City. Try and find another driver. Spilly's also in P8. He's obviously only done a lap on the medium compounded tyres yet so far. There's 7 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the session, so he should be able to get back out to do another run. Breno in position 11 for Haas. And who's that that's just jumped up? That's Gaming Burger now for Williams on a 14.4. Let's keep going back down the order. Jay Schmidt in P14 at the moment on a 16.1. Then it's WCR Footy Dad on a 16.2, I believe. He's about to start his second time lap. He's heading through the final sector now is Footy. Then it's Banana Cake Pie for Red Bull. Then it is his teammate Aaron L3F4 who is on an out lap. I'm not sure. He's currently in 0 ERS. So not too sure what the Red Bull driver's doing. And Very Lazy Tail at the rear of the grid for McLaren. Unfortunately himself is, or he's at the rear of the grid at the moment, and his teammate's currently on pole. So he'll be looking to try and get a good result out of it this afternoon. Young Lights has a prediction. Zach first, Extra Evolution second, and third is Gaming Burger. Interesting prediction. Cole Hanko, Common 40, obviously cheering on the Ferrari squad. How many penalties for Tao? Do you mean penalty points? I'm not sure, honestly. Deadly Flu rooting on the Alpha squad. Currently, Swaggy is sitting in position 3 at the moment, and Pure Gold down in position 8. So both of them are currently in the top 10. Obviously, there's 6 minutes and 24 seconds remaining in the session. Yeah, I've got them all here, Hanko. I've got a list here. BK's kindly provided to us a list of what Zach needs to do. Cheers for that anyway. Extra Evolution still on pole at the moment. I believe he did improve on his time. He's now set a 14 flat, so The McLaren driver looking pretty pacey off the start. He's going to be able to get one more run in, possibly. Time penalties for Tao. Oh, you want my prediction? Is that what you're asking? I'm not too sure. Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea, honestly. Let me know your prediction, RacerX. You can see both McLarens here at the moment. Very lazy Tao trying to get a toe potentially off his teammate here of X Revolution. So both McLaren trying to work together here. I guess Revolution obviously really quick, but I think Tao needs a little bit of a toe off his teammate. Hopefully he doesn't get balked though, so he's got a little bit of a gap between himself and his teammate. He'll be getting a slight bit of increased speed heading down this main straight here. But he's not really as close as what I think he really needs to be to get a toe. But obviously he needs to be mindful as well of dirty air. He's kept a pretty good gap though, so he'll be getting a little advantage here with Tao. He needs to see. Well, this will be a good comparison as well. Both McLarens out on track, so it'll give us a little idea on pace difference between these two. 40-22 now on pole position. The first driver into the 1 minute 13. 1 minute 13.987. Just slipped into the 1 minute 13 barrier. Let's go back on board with very lazy Towels. He's heading through the S section edge. You can see Revolution's put a massive gap on him, so he must have made a little error there. The Tao heading through the second sector. Got through the S section quite nicely. Revolution's actually backed out. Has he invalidated? He has, so unfortunately his session, or his lap is now done. He'll be going back to the pits now. Tao turns it a little bit too early there for that corner. Hurt him massively on speed. Through the penultimate corner now. Goes very lazy Tao. Where is he going to end up? Across the line. Only manages position 15 on a 15.6 there. So a few seconds off the pace at the moment is very lazy Tao. BK looks to be starting a lap, and I think Revolution would have just pulled into the pits. He did, so he'll be able to get another lap time. And if he does have another set of tyres, I don't know if he actually will, because I believe that was his third run of the session. So I don't know if Revolution's going to be able to go back out again. That might be his session done and dusted. Unless he might just be filling back up for fuel and might try and go again. Not sure. 40 hasn't validated. I think he's out of fuel, actually. That's what he has done, because he just set the fast lap. I completely forgot. Spilly in position 3 as well for Racing Point. So don't cut it, Spilly. No, that's alright. So we do have you on stream right now. Spilly in position 3 at the moment for Racing Point on a 14.2. Couple of tenths off X Revolution 40. Then it is a tenth behind the Racing Point driver of Swagger 291 and P4. P5 Crossy F1 for Ferrari. 2/100ths of a second behind Swaggy. Then it is Zach Crichton in position 6. P7 Gaming Burger. Toddster J Schmidt Pure Gold. Curving Texas in P11, P12, Banana Cake Pie. Then it is Curving's teammate of Plebs, who is now coming out of the pit lane. Breno, Very Lazy Tower, BK, WCR Footy, Dad 75, and then Aaron L3F4 down in P17, who unfortunately didn't get the best of laps in. I'm not too sure. I don't believe he was running any ERS that lap, so you'll have to see. As you see, Revolution's coming back out. I believe these are on a scrub set of tyres that he may have just done his last lap on, so let me know any more predictions in the chat. Thank you everyone for joining the stream as well. Try and find a driver on a lap. Sorry, I was just making sure the stream was working. It looks like Plebs is about to start a lap, so we'll have to check in with him later on in the session or towards the end of his lap. Breno is on a lap at the moment. He has Crossy in front of him. Crossy just gets out of the way there. Breno would have been very scared that he would have got balked there. But now Breno heading through the final sector. What is the harsh driver going to be able to do coming up to the penultimate corner? There's a little bit of traffic in front of him. Up to the line, he goes into position 11 with the 1 minute 15.213 for the harsh driver. You see Jay Schmidt's now starting a lap. A lot of the drivers will be starting their laps now. Try and find a driver that's potentially towards the end of their lap. X Revolution is midway through lap, and he's unfortunately lost it here. Has Revolution, he was struggling on his previous lap as well with getting through that section, so could be a little bit of a weak spot there for the McLaren driver. Some drivers may take note of that. You see his teammate now going past him. 40 is now starting a lap, 26 seconds remaining in the session. We'll go back to Plevs actually, because he will be coming towards the end of his lap. As you can see now, heading through the penultimate corner. Can the Renault driver improve on his time? Up to the line, he now goes. A 14.590 for the Renault driver, puts him into position 8. Who else is coming towards the end of their lap? Let's ride on board with Toddy for the remainder of the session. BK's retired from the session now. Actually, we'll keep on board with Toddy, who actually has a purple second sector, so I'm not too sure if he had a purple first sector, but let's see what the Williams driver can do. Unfortunately, Revolution session is done and dusted. He's not going to be able to have a shot at pole position this afternoon. Coming to the penultimate corner now goes Todster. Will he be able to take that pole position off 40? Coming up to the line, he only manages position 3 on a 14.262. Just slots in front of Spilly. Spilly is unfortunately invalidated on his time, so his session is done. What is Swaggy going to do? He's heading through the final sector now. He's actually down on his time at the moment, so he's going to try and find a bit of time through this final sector. He actually has a purple second sector there to Spilly, so must have found a little bit of time. Not sure he was down on his time when we had a little reading there. Penultimate corner now. Goes Swaggy into the final corner. Got to be very easy on your traction there. Up to the line. He goes position 2 on a 14.066. Try and find someone else. Plebs has finished his lap. What about Towel? He's heading through the final sector, and unfortunately, he has invalidated on his time. And Aaron's going to be starting from the rear of the grid. Or is he on his outlap? I'm not too sure if he's actually on his outlap. He's coming up to cross the line now. Does Aaron improve? He only manages position 17 on a 15.8. So the Red Bull driver that could potentially stop Zach Crichton from winning the championship here this afternoon is starting on the rear or the back row of the grid. So unfortunately for himself, this could be really bad for himself, not only for Zach Crichton stopping him from winning the championship, but also considering the rival, or the main rival for himself for the battle of P2 in the championship of X Revolution is up in position 3. So that could be really telling, or hurting I should say, for Aaron's championship here. But let's see how it goes. Quick reminder though, 40 takes provisional pole position for the Race Spec Esports Mexican Grand Prix. Swaggy P2, P3 Revolution, Todster, Spilly rounds out your top 5, Crossy, Zach, Gaming Burger, Plebs, and XXJ Schmidt rounds out your top 10. We'll be back with you very shortly for the Mexican Grand Prix. Stay tuned. Let me know some predictions in the live chat, and we'll be back very soon. Alright guys, I do apologize. Sorry real quick. We unfortunately are having a bit of technical difficulties sorry, with the lobby. We're going to have to recreate it. So we'll be back with you shortly. I'll play some music for you guys, some of the new tunes that I've actually got for the stream. So let me know your opinions of them. I thought the old ones, I've had them for a while as well. I've had them since season 1 actually, the same tunes. So I thought I'd change them up a bit for this round. Hopefully I'll be able to get some new exclusive ones potentially for next season. But we'll be back with you shortly. Stay tuned. We won't be too long, hopefully.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. I see the world through eyes covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Content, hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell. I wanna taste consumption. Breathe faster to waste oxygen. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music till the wick burns out. Be carefree lately, yeah. Just kicking up daisies. Got one too many quarters in my pockets. Count 'em like the four-leaf clovers in my locket. Untied laces, yeah. Just tripping on daydreams. Got dirty little lullabies playing on repeat. Might as well just ride around the nursery and count sheep.
I wanna change your mind. Suck me in slow, breathe me in and let me go. Filling the lungs inside you, and the blackened eyes make my way into your mind. Just to know what you knew. restless every time we start locking eyes. Lost control. Oh, it's paradise with honesty, but I'm in the dead of the night. Let the darkness take control. Let the darkness take control. Darkness take control. May the darkness take control. Take me in the smoke, breathe me in and let me go. Sink to your heart to find you. Open up your eyes till you're blinded by the lies, so you can see what you do. Restless every time we start locking eyes. Lost control. Oh, it's paradise with honesty, but I'm in the dead of the night. Teardrops on the floor. The pain is over. Feel the darkness take control. Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. With crimson secrets and forbidden bliss, can't stay still, don't stop that thrill. My bones crave your skin, temptation within.
Alright, sorry about that, guys. We are now back. As you can see, I need to unmute the mic that might, sorry, the audio. That might be an idea. There you go. You guys should be able to hear the game audio now. Welcome everyone back to the stream. Welcome to Race Spec F1 Esports PS4 Pacific Series Tier 1 League here for the Mexican Grand Prix. I do apologize for that little delay there in the race start. Unfortunately, the lobby crashed when we went to go and start the formation lap. So that was a beautiful start to the weekend. I will quickly remind you of what the order was. Sorry, just give me 1 second. So I was just making sure the stream was going. Sorry about that, guys. So, yeah, we are all back now. 40-22 qualified on pole position. Then it was Swaggy291, who will start on the second row of the grid. X-Revolution in position 3, a very, very good qualifying position for him. Well, it's not really, really good on his terms, but obviously that is where he needs to be, especially considering Zach Crichton's in position 7 and BK and Aaron L3F4 is down in position 17, but we'll get to that reason very shortly. Todd Stan in position 4, Spilly P5, who's actually in the Haas at the moment. Unfortunately, we had a few troubles with him actually selecting a car. He is taking home points on Racing Point though, so we will be calling him the Racing Point of Spilly, so don't think I'm a bit dumb when I'm saying Haas or Racing Point when he's actually driving a Haas. You'll get the idea. I might just call him the Haas so I don't look dumb. But anyway, Crossy will be in P6, P7, Zachary Crichton, who can take the win here this afternoon. We will be talking about that numerous times throughout the race here this afternoon. Gaming Burger P8, Plebs, J Schmidt curving, Pure Gold in position 12, Breno 13th, Banana, Very Lazy Towel, BKXI, Aaron L3F4 in position 17, and WCR Footy Dad 75 will round out the grid here. 18 drivers will be battling it out this afternoon for the Mexican Grand Prix, waiting for the light sequence to now begin. The longest run heading into turn 1, I believe, this season actually. So now you can see the light sequence has begun. 5 red lights for the drivers and we are underway. Very quick start there and it looks like 40's going to have the best jump. Obviously it's not the best place to be though, because you will be getting slipstream heading down into turn 1. You can see he's trying to get that side draft off Swaggy, and then they're 3 wide is X-Revolution, 40 and Swaggy heading into the first turn. None of them are giving an inch. Do they make contact? No, they both or all get through very cleanly. As you can see, Swaggy into the lead of the Mexican Grand Prix. 40's now spotted into position 2. X-Revolution's trying to fight back, but he's not able to get the momentum that he needs. Spilly and Zach Crichton going side by side, heading down into turn 4. Zach down the inside. Double maneuver there for the Mercedes driver. Is he able to hold it there? No, he's not. He's going to have to swap back behind Spilly, who's in position 4. I'll bring up the position change and some telemetry for you guys so you guys get an idea. 5-second penalty for Zach Crichton for corner cutting, so that could be interesting. That could play into his hands. Obviously, he's thought that isn't correct, so he's going to try and potentially get that removed later on in the race. Todd Stan position 6 at the moment. He's down 2 spots. He's at a very poor start here. Has a Williams driver. Curving Texas up 4 spots already in this race. Up into position 7. Crossy B8, B9 Gaming Burger. And ready at your top 10 at the moment is Schmidt, Plebs, Pure Gold, Banana, BK, Breno, Towel, WCR Footy. And Aaron's unfortunately spun. I saw him off on the mini-map there. So the, what's his name? What's the word? I've completely forgot. The Red Bull driver. Sorry about that. Is now down at the rear of the grid. Todster is in the pits, and so is Schmidt. They must have both got damaged very early in this race, but I need to bring up that little sheet that BKXI kindly made for us so that we can have a little insight onto what the championship go is here this afternoon. 40 right under that rear wing of Swaggy. 291 heading into the braking zone of turn 4 into turn 5. They now head, as you can see, the top 3 are all starting to pull away just a little bit. Spilly in P5 at the moment, sorry, in P4 at the moment, in a Racing Point, obviously driving a Haas at the moment, but he is taking points home for Racing Point. We need to remember that. Zach Crichton P5, then it is curving up in a P6 now. The Renault driver has had a really good end, or last couple of races he is curving. He had a really, really strong performance in the Russian Grand Prix, and we've unfortunately, commentators cursed him completely there. Yeah, that was a complete commentator's curse, 100%. We were just talking about how good his last couple of races has been, and unfortunately curving has now got massive wing damage to that Renault car. He's now going to be having to come into the pits for a round wing change. I cannot believe that. That's actually one of the first commentator's curses I've ever actually done, believe it or not. So WCR Footy will now jump the Renault driver up into position 14. He's up 4 spots. So now the driver up the most spots actually is BKXI, up into position 10. But we'll go back to the lead pack. You can see 40 right under that rear wing of Swaggy. Obviously no DRS, or DRS is now enabled this lap, but unfortunately isn't available because the DRS detection zone for the first and second DRS zone around the circuit is actually heading through the final sector, so they do use the same DRS detection zones as the straights are pretty much directly after each other. Need to scroll up now to try and find that list that BK provided to us very kindly. So obviously if Zach Crichton does win this race here this afternoon, he will take home the championship relatively easy. If Zach finishes 5th, he needs Aaron with 3rd or lower and Revolution 2nd or lower. So at this stage, Zach Crichton will become champion. By our numbers. This is by our numbers. I believe this is correct. Assuming that BK knows how to add up. So 40 and Swaggy still now trying to edge a gap away from X Revolution. So Zach doesn't need to take too many risks here this afternoon. He just needs to make sure he gets the best points possible. He's going to be in a really good slipstream, and DRS obviously available to him. Heading into turn 1, does he make a move on the harsh driver of Spilly? And he gets the move done relatively easy. It's a very easy place to make a move. Obviously, with DRS and Slipstream available too, you can get that move done pretty easy. And also, if you turn in super early for that corner, it actually stops the driver on the outside from making a move. Who's that making a move? Down the inside goes 40. Heading into turn 4. Thought about making a move there on the Alfa Romeo of Swaggy, who currently leads away. And Revolution Tokyo drifting out of turn 5. 40 tried to make a move. He knows that Zach Crichton is coming for him, as you can see. He needs to try and get the best points position here, because obviously we're only on lap 4 of 36. It is a very long race around here. So the championship will not be decided obviously until they cross the finish line. 36 laps into the race. You can see 40's pretty much pushing Swaggy. He needs him to get a move on, because look, Zach Crichton just outside of DRS range here. And who's that in the wall? Is that Footy? It is Footy. Unfortunately, he is spun around at the exact same spot that Curving Texas has, and Zach Crichton responds with a fastest lap. Does he get DRS? He actually doesn't, but 40 is now drawing alongside, heading into the first turn. Look, this is going to potentially be a double overtake here for Revolution down the inside, heading into the first turn. 40 real deep under brakes is managed to take the lead of the Grand Prix, and now Swaggy shot 2 spots in the space of 1 straight. That just shows how powerful the slipstream and DRS is available around this circuit. Will Swaggy be able to respond back though? Not unfortunately. 40's made an error there. He's locked up the rears massively, heading into turn 4. And now through turn 5, he's going to be massively compromised. Will Swaggy try and stick the nose down the inside? Yes, he does. Heading into the double right-hander. Does he push the McLaren out wide? He does, which is the smart thing to do, because it stops him from getting the momentum out of the corner. And he's now pushed himself back up into position 2. But is that where he wants to be though? He needs to make sure he keeps within around 4 to 5 tenths of a second to 40 if he wants to get an effective slipstream heading down the start finish straight. X Revolution needs to be smart here. He just needs to sit behind Swaggy for the rest of this sector. Obviously Zach is now clearly, or comfortably I should say, within DRS range of the front 3. Spilly is right there as well. Gaming Burger needs to get within a second as well. 2 could potentially make this a 6-way battle. Look at Crossy though, he's right on the rear of Gaming Burger as they head through the final quarter. Let's go back to this front pack. Sorry, my voice is going already. I apologize for that. Don't think any moves are going to be made here. Potentially Spilly. Not really close enough. And down the inside. Was that 40? I thought I saw somebody defending. Sorry about that. I thought I saw somebody defending the inside line. All the top 5 are line and stern at the moment. Unfortunately, Crossy wasn't able to make a move on Gaming Burger there. Heading down into turn 1. Towel already has been disqualified for being parked in a dangerous location. So I believe someone actually called that he'd get disqualified before lap 24. I will confirm that for you. But I know Towel has been having a few technical difficulties. So that's probably the reason that he was parked in a dangerous location. I believe it was Racer X actually. Go back to this front battle package. You can see they're all converging on each other now. Is any of them going to be, or are any of them going to be able to make a move here? I think Revolution might try and make one on Swaggy. He's going to have a real nice run here. Heading into turn 1. He's going to draw alongside the Alfa Romeo driver. Swaggy holds it there though, very deep under brakes there for the Alfa Romeo driver, and he's going to hold on to that second position. Obviously these two squabbling is not going to be favouring them in any way whatsoever, because Zach Crichton's going to be catching up and 40's going to be pulling away. So will Zach be able to try and make a move here on Revolution? No, he's not close enough at the moment. Zach doesn't need to be doing anything dumb, obviously. He just needs to make sure he gets a good result here this afternoon to try and claim this championship. Let all these guys battle it out, because obviously the only driver at the moment that can actually take this championship from Zach Ryan at the moment is X Revolution. Aaron can mathematically do it, but unfortunately with the position that he's in, it is very unlikely for himself. So he will be hoping for a few safety cars and a few more crash cars for Aaron to try and get back up here. But Gaming Burger's now starting to pull away from Crossy F1. So the top 7 are all going to be converging on each other very soon. Players in a pretty lonely spot at the moment in P8. He's trying to catch up to the 2 in front of him, who obviously are getting DRS trained. So that will be helping them quite a bit. Don't think we'll be able to see any moves here this time around. Revolution has that slipstream gain. He's not going to be close enough though. No, any of these drivers. Oh, Revolution's made an error. The McLaren driver's now made an error heading into turn 1. Swaggy also got a 3-second penalty, so those two made contact. I think they may have made contact there, did Swaggy and Revolution. Unfortunately, we just pulled away from it, but does Revolution find Zach back here? Goes to the outside line. Trying to go around the outside. Oh, he actually is going to make it the stick though, by the looks of it. They're still side by side here, is Zach and Revolution, but Zach's going to have the better traction as he was a little bit wider. Zach now up into the podium positions. Obviously, he's got 1.3 seconds between himself and Swaggy, so this could be a good thing for Swaggy. He can now put his head down and try and focus on 40 and try to edge away from Zach Cryan. Revolution actually did just lose the championship. You are correct, Hanko. Obviously, it is only lap 9. So there are 30... No, I don't know. I can't do math. I'm not even going to try and guess. I'm just going to embarrass myself. Curving Texas. Now, I believe the 3rd time penalty for the session. He's down in position 16 at the moment. I think Spilly tried to make a move there, and Zach, he thought about it anyway. But didn't have the best run. No, actually, Revolution's got a head on Zach. So, Zach back... Sorry, Revolution. Looking like he has a bit more pace than Zach at the moment. So at this stage, I believe I need to have this thing up all the time. So if Revolution, if Zach finishes position 4, Revolution needs to finish 2nd or lower. So he needs to currently win the race if they stay the same. And Aaron's also just moved himself up ahead of Breno, up into position 12 now, just outside of the points. Banana currently the last driver in the points, so he's in a little battle with BKXI at the moment. So 40 now, 1.6 seconds between himself and Swaggy, so he's put on a massive gap. I think Swaggy made another little error, so this is really good for 40. Obviously this will bring him back into the championship fight between himself and X Revolution and Aaron, so this is what he needs. He's not focused on Zach at the moment. He's focused on this battle between Revolution and Zach. As you can see, the McLaren driver now up into the 2nd position, which is what he needs, I believe, to keep this championship alive for himself. So 40 leads away, 1.5 seconds at the moment. Revolution, P2, Swaggy, Zach, Spelly, and P5. Gaming Burger trying to get under a second to these guys in front. Crossy's getting towed along at the moment by the Williams driver. Flavs isn't really catching up at the moment. Not too surprised by that though. Obviously all these guys in front of him are slipstreaming each other, so not too surprised by that. Pure Gold and P9, then it is Banana Cake Pie and P10 who is somewhat battling with BK. Then it's Aaron right behind, Breno, Toddy, XXJ Schmidt. Obviously Curving and Todster all have to make pit stops early in this race, and unfortunately Footy, I think, has also made a pit stop after that little spin, which he did the exact same thing as what Banana Cake Pie did. Not Banana Cake Pie, sorry, BK? No, Curving, sorry, Curving. So 40, 1.4 seconds now. Revolution there, still Looks like Pure Gold has now jumped both Crossy and Zach because they're in the pit lane, so that's interesting. They could be going for a little undercut here. Could these two. Obviously, pitting a lap earlier can actually really benefit you because you're going to have such a better run down this main straight, so... Or if you do come out of the final corner. So now Zach's come out just behind Tots99, who has made a pit stop already in this Grand Prix. So 41.1 seconds now between himself and X Revolution. Plev's now 3-second penalty down in position 6. So I think we'll see a couple of drivers respond to Zach potentially. You see they're all now coming into the pit. Spilly follows it in. So does Swaggy. Gaming Burger. Does Plebs come in? Yes, he does. I think we'll see Pure Gold in as well. But he's actually staying out now as Pure Gold, I believe. He is. So a lot of drivers coming into the pits. Let's see. Oh, there's a crash here. Zach Crichton out of the race. He's made contact with Tonston, the championship rival. There's now a massive incident now. Jay Schmidt's gone. There's been a massive crash that we've unfortunately missed. And Zach's got a 5-second penalty for a severe collision. What has happened there to our championship leader? He's now had to come into the pits again. So where's everyone come out? Revolution's come out in the provisional lead of the race. 40 in P2, so 40's actually been jumped here by Revolution. Spilly in position 3 provisionally, then it's Swaggy, Crossy, Gaming Burger, and Plebs. That is just completely throwing the championship upside down. Because Zach at this stage will be scoring absolutely 0 points. He's made contact with Todd, so those two are good mates. So I'm not too sure what's happened there between those two. So Zach is potentially not throwing away this championship, but he's not going to be able to seal it here this afternoon. I do apologise for not getting that on stream, but I just saw yellow flags and I saw it was a Mercedes. I thought, oh, it was BK maybe, but yeah, that is massively unfortunate for Zach. He's now at the rear of the grid. And he did take out Schmidt and Todd. Schmidt at least. He did come on the track a bit abruptly, so he could be potentially getting himself another penalty here, could Zach. Obviously, he does have a very comfortable lead in the championship, so I don't think he'll be as worried as I think I'm making it sound like, to be honest. Pure Gold, Banana Cake Pie, and Aaron are all staying out at the moment. They all did not start on the soft compound of tyre. We'll swap this over to stops now so you guys can see who has made a pit stop. So it's currently only Pure Gold, Banana, and Aaron who have made a pit stop. And you can see Banana actually letting Aaron go now. The two Red Bulls not holding each other up. But 40 is now actually got himself back up into the lead of the Mexican Grand Prix. Revolution, Spilly are all still there as well. Swaggy's unfortunately dropped off massively. Just hasn't had the pace. He's gone onto the hard compound tyre. So what has 40 gone on? He's gone on the mediums. Revolution on the hards and Spilly on the mediums. Swaggy on the hards. Crossy on the mediums. Gaming Burger hards and Plebs hards. So it's very mixed at the moment for what everyone's opting for strategy. So I'm not too sure obviously what the strat is right now. So I'm not going to comment on it. You never know, Racer. I did remember a couple of rounds ago, I'm not sure if it was Elite Series or this, but Zach did a last the first challenge pretty much, and I believe he ended up P2 or first even potentially, I can't even remember, but he definitely ended up on the podium. There's now 40, he's got ahead of Banana Cake Pie. Where's Revolution gone? He's dropped up massively here, so I think he got slipstreamed heading down the main start finish straight, so... Unfortunately for Revolution, he's now, or Spilly I should say, he's getting held up massively by Banana. Spilly will be mega annoyed at the moment. He needs to get ahead of Banana Cake Pie. He's gone for a small gap there. Does Banana just back out of this? No, he's still fighting it, actually. He cut the corner there to Banana. I'm not too sure if he just outbroke himself or he's trying to actually fight Spilly here. I'm not sure, but actually I think what he'll be doing is trying to help Aaron, to be honest, but I don't know if that will be helping him, to be honest. If I'm going to be brutally honest, but Pure Gold 4.1 second lead at the moment. Obviously has not made a pit stop. Aaron has not made a pit stop. Banana now into the pit lane, so he's just cost himself a lot of time there as Banana. But someone that's come off massively advantage off this is 40-22. He's now pulled out a 1.6 second lead to Spilly and Revolution behind him, who's now actually picked up a 3-second penalty as the McLaren driver. So that's unfortunate for himself. Zach setting fastest laps down in clear air at the moment in position 16. Yeah, so at this stage anyway, racers, Zach cannot conceal the championship here this afternoon at the Mexican Grand Prix. And it will go down to the Brazilian Grand Prix, I think that's how the championship goes. I'll try and confirm that for you. You can see that now, 40 making a move on Aaron up into position 2 now. He will now be trying to reel in Aaron, Pure Gold, sorry. You can see down the inside there goes Spilly. Aaron's actually trying to fight this here, interestingly. Spilly doesn't leave him any room. So, not too sure what's happened there, but Aaron's not really in this race, so he can obviously battle. There's no rule saying that he's not allowed to. It's a race. He is permitted to do that, but I also think what's also going to take a big hit here this afternoon is actually the Mercedes Drivers' Championship, because both Ferraris are currently in position 2 at the moment, only around 20 points behind the Mercedes, and both Mercedes are out of the points at the moment, so they will definitely jump up into the lead of the standings this afternoon. Racing Point are a little bit too far behind, unfortunately. So now, as you can see, they're all coming into the pits. The drivers that have not made a pit stop of Pure Gold. Aaron's actually stayed down an extra lap. Pit 40 has a 1.2 second lead at the moment over Spilly. Obviously, we need to remember Spilly is not actually a Haas driver. He's had a few technical difficulties with his car choosing, so he will be taking home points for Racing Point. X-Revolution in P3 at the moment, then it is Aaron who is still yet to make a pit stop. So provisionally, Swag in P4, P5 Swag, Crossy, P6 Gaming Burger, Plebs, Pure Gold, Banana Cake Pie, and BK is actually in position 10 at the moment, depending on where Aaron comes out. Then it is Breno, Toddster, Zach down at B14, P15 is Schmidt curving, and WCR40 Dad in position 75, not position 75, what am I saying, in position 17, and Very Legends Towers unfortunately retired from the race. So there's 19 laps remaining in the Mexican Grand Prix. Let me know some more predictions in the live chat. Who you reckon is going to win the race? I don't believe we had any race predictions. We had a few qualifying, but no race, so USA is next. Sorry, that is correct. I'm sorry about that, ACW. I always get that wrong. I never get the championship right. It changes from year to year. So hard to remember. But Revolution's actually reeled in Spilly here. 0.6 of a second separating them two. Could see a little tight battle here between the Racing Point and McLaren driver. Crossy now making a move on Aaron up into the top 5. Aaron's staying out very long. Actually, he's on the hard, so Aaron's going to be hoping for a potential safety car because that would play massively into the Red Bull's hands. What is the best strategy, Craig? I'd be lying if I said something, probably, because I have absolutely no idea. Check out the suggested race strategy in the Race Spec Discord server. They'll be able to tell you. They'll be able to tell you there what the optimal race strategy is. Gaming Burger's now right behind Aaron. He'll be looking to try and make a move potentially on the main straight. He'll be waiting for DRS. So I'm going to bring this up as well. The different tyre compounds everyone is on. So 40 and Spilly currently on medium tyres. X Revolution on hards. Sorry, my voice is going at the moment. I need to drink water. Swaggy on hards. Crossy on mediums. Aaron on hards, who has started on hards. He's on 18 lap old hards. So he's looking to do a one-stop here this afternoon. He'll probably go into the mediums soon. Imagine safety car and Aaron wins potentially. You never know. Because I think he's going to let Gaming Burger go here. He is pretty easily. No point in fighting this. He's just going to be chewing up tyres. Plebs MP8 at the moment. Pure Gold, Banana Cake Pie, BK, Breno, Zach, Toddy, Schmidt, Curving, and WCR Footy. Schmidt's on the sauce at the moment, so that's a bit interesting. Footy Dad now a 3-second time penalty. Yellow flag, I think that's Footy again. Yeah, it is CR, sorry, not CRZ. WCR Footy, I'm going to get a bit of crap for that. Sorry about that. WCR Footy just spun out again, I believe. He's actually getting lapped now, I believe, by some of the front runners. Schmidt now 3-second penalty. So I will update you very shortly, but I believe that the medium drivers may be doing another stop in this race, is what I believe. So I'll update you a little bit later on. We still haven't seen a safety car, which I believe we could potentially see coming towards the end of the race. Spilly, 3-second penalty. That could hurt him massively. He's obviously known for not getting too many penalties as Spilly, but Revolution's now got himself up into P2. So are those medium tyres starting to fall off already? He's only 8 laps into the stint, so Revolution just seems to have the better pace at the moment. He's now going to have to try and catch up the 40, who has a 2-second lead at the moment. Pure Gold now with 3-second time penalty as well. So we're on lap 21 of 36 in this Grand Prix. 40 and so Spilly and Revolution are still swapping positions at the moment. This is the battle for position 2 and position 3 in this race. Obviously, I need to bring up this championship standings as well. Actually, I have him right here. We'll see where Spilly is in the championship. He's currently in position 6 at the moment. A couple points behind Toddy and 40, so his championship is not over yet as well. Toddy, unfortunately, is out of the points at the moment, so that could help him. Well, he actually will jump ahead actually, no, he won't. He'll be 1 point behind at the moment, Will Spilly or Toddy, so there's 26 points separating them, I believe. Yeah, there is 26 points separating Toddy and Spilly, so Spilly will be in position 6 at the end of this if my calculations are correct. The 40 comes up across the line now to start the 22nd lap of the Grand Prix. Zach Crichton, another 3-second penalty. So his time penalties are racking up here. He'll be trying to go for fastest lap. to be honest. I believe he does have it though, so he does, down in position 13 at the moment on a 17-2, so he's got about a 10th in hand at the moment between himself and 40 when it comes to that. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. I think that might be WCR Footy, who's unfortunately retired from the race. So it is going to be interesting. We've had a couple of discussions popping up in the chat with strategy. Will we have to see these medium drivers come back into the pits? I think the hard drivers will be perfectly fine to get to the end, to be honest. I think they'll easily or comfortably get to the end. Maybe not comfortably. Yeah, unfortunately I don't really know what the go is with strategy. But we'll soon find out though. So Swaggy's not really catching up at the moment to Revolution, as now Gaming Burger and Crossy have swapped positions again in this race. So up into P5 goes Gaming Burger, but I think this is probably the best opportunity. Actually no, I think Revolution's trying to make a move. It's not, sorry. So this is probably the best opportunity now for us to have a look at warning. So 40 has a 3-second penalty and he's on his last warning. Spilly has 1 penalty already. Revolution has 3, 6, 9 seconds worth of penalties. Swaggy has 3, 6, 9, nearly 12 seconds worth of penalties. Gaming Burger on his first penalty, 3 seconds. Crossy has no warning, so no penalties at the moment. So Crossy could be on for a really good spot result here. If a safety car comes out especially and he can give his nose clean, he could be doing for a potential podium here for Crossy. Because everyone in front of him has a penalty and he's the first driver to not have one. So he's currently 11 seconds off the leader of 40. So yeah, this race is definitely going to come down to penalties, I believe. Revolution in position 2 at the moment. He's just jumped up ahead of Spilly again. So I'm not even going to really worry about the championship at the moment, because Zach is unfortunately not in the points. But he's actually catching up to a little battle pack now. Between Breno, BK and Banana. Actually no, Breno, there's actually a pretty big gap in between them, sorry, I apologise. So yeah, so it's going to be hard for Zach to score points here this afternoon. Obviously he has a comfortable 84-point lead at the moment. Between himself and X Revolution. Will we see a move here from Spilly? These two have been battling a lot of this race. I don't think we're going to be able to see one this time around. Battle between Crossy's actually fallen off massively to Gaming Burger now, so not too sure if his tyres are just going. Obviously he's on the mediums compared to Gaming Burger and Swaggy here on the hards, so if a safety car comes out right about now, I think we'll see a couple of drivers chuck on the soft compounder tyre, to be honest. Or we will see all of these drivers actually chuck on a set of soft compound drivers tyres, sorry. So now there's actually 10 laps remaining in the Grand Prix, as they now cross over into lap 26 of 36. BK 3-second penalty down in position 11 at the moment. So as I did say, time penalties are definitely going to be a factor in this. Obviously 40, sorry, wrong person, has, I've completely forgot already, he has a 3-second penalty and he's on his last warning. So any more mistakes here from the Ferrari driver will give himself a 3-second penalty, which will drop him behind X Revolution. Assuming that Revolution has less time penalties than himself. Now starts in level lap. Spilly trying to keep on the rear of X Revolution. Toddy's now got himself a penalty. There's yellow flags at the moment. I believe that's just the local yellow for the pit lane. Schmidt's unfortunately retired from the session. As you saw at the bottom of your screen, as you can see on the leaderboard on the left-hand side of the screen, 9 laps remaining in this race. So it hasn't been the best performance from me, I would say. I've been very quiet this race. But Spilly and Revolution are still technically battling. Spilly is within a second still, but obviously it's super hard to follow through that S section closely, especially the driver in front of you. Gaming Burger and Swaggy now battling as well, as you can see. So I think these medium tyres are actually going off massively now. So let's see with the X Revolution if he's actually able to catch up to 40. So just a quick confirmation, 40 does have that one penalty. Revolution, 3, 6, 9, 12 seconds of penalty. So Revolution's 100%, or 99% I should say, not winning this race. Yeah, I can confirm that for you. Gaming Burger and Spilly are now side by side heading through turn 1, 2. Now into turn 3, they're still side by side. They're still going to be running side by side on the exit of the corner. Berger trying to get the better traction. He has DRS. Unfortunately, Swaggy didn't. And Swaggy's going to have to sit behind Gaming Burger now. Berger up into position 4 for Williams. Crossy's now got himself a 3-second time penalty as well, down in position 6. So he was looking good for a potential good result here, but unfortunately those 17 lap old mediums are just not the right tyre to be on. He definitely needed to go to the hards, and they're going to be tight just to get to the end of those mediums. They could be getting towards puncture territory here, I reckon. You can see Revolution's put in nearly half a second in that lap alone. 240, so good to see another battle here on track for the lead of the Grand Prix. Obviously, this will come down to time penalties. I'm not too sure on how it's going to pan out. Spilly just holding on to Revolution at the moment with DRS. That is really assisting him at the moment, and Slipstream. Swaggy's just picked himself up a 3-second penalty as well. Banana and BK are juicing for position. Justling, sorry, not juicing. Justling for position. This is the battle for position 10 in this race. Oh, it's down to me with Zach Crun as well. Maybe 3 wide. Zach down the inside. Double overtake there on Banana and BK. Zach now in position 10. He's back up into the points, which is definitely good for him. But something that I actually haven't realised yet as well. Aaron has made a pit stop in this race. I didn't point that out. He pitted on lap 2. He's done 28 laps on these hards, so if he can get these to the end, that is going to be a massive achievement for himself. Obviously, his tyre's going to be absolutely screaming at him on that car. 29 lap old hards. That is a very long time to be on a set of tyres, so he needs to be real cautious here. As you can see how slow he is through the corners. Plebs will just be catching him so quickly, but this could be good for Aaron, though. He did start down in position, or he actually started on the back row of the grid. So if he can just get any points here this afternoon, that will be a really good effort from himself. Obviously, this isn't good for his championship, considering the 2 rivals that he's battling with in the championship are currently P1 and position 2. So it's unfortunate for him. He's going to drop lose a lot of points this afternoon. 40, a 3-second penalty now, so it's coming back into Revolution's hands here, but obviously Revolution has 12 seconds penalties, 40 is 6 now. So, a 6 or 9 maybe, it's one of those. I'll check again later on in the race, or potentially on the last few laps. Spilly is just still keeping within that DRS range, pushing those medium tires very hard at the moment. You see he's sliding them around everywhere at the moment. Need to remember, Spilly will be taking home points for Racing Point as well. Unfortunately, had a few issues with selecting his car. So he is a Racing Point driver. He's still a Racing Point driver. Swaggy and Berger have also swapped positions now. Swaggy back up into position 4. These guys have been battling all race as well. Crossy, unfortunately, just on those medium tyres, has dropped down massively. Aaron and Plebs are now going to be battling for position. I think the smart thing for Aaron here would be to actually let Plebs go, to be honest. I think he needs to let him go through the final sector so he can get some DRS and just try and sit in that slipstream of DRS and Plebs to try and tow him along, because he's not going to be able to hold on to this position, to be honest. And if they do keep battling these two, Pure Gold is actually going to catch up. So he's only 6 seconds behind. So let's see what Aaron opts to do here, if he does battle Plebs, or if he tries to, or he just lets it go. That gap now between Revolution and 40 is 2.2 seconds. You can see the Ferrari in the background. They're heading under the Rolex board now. So at this stage, by my calculations, I'm going to do another calculation test. I know I'm doing this 50 times. The 40 has 3 seconds, 6 seconds of penalties. Revolution has 3, 6, 9, 12. So we can throw Revolution out of the this here. 3, 6, Billy. So 3 second penalty for Spilly. So how close is Spilly at the moment to the leader? He's 3.4 seconds at the moment is Spilly. So if Spilly can get within 3 seconds to 40 here, Spilly can win this Mexican Grand Prix. And if 40 picks up another penalty, Spilly can win this Mexican Grand Prix. So Spilly's got a lot to gain here potentially if he can just catch up around 0.6 of a second to X Revolution and 40. So he's got to be pushing really hard here. Obviously, the compound that he's on is not going to be ideal, though, for him. There's going to be 3 laps remaining in this race. Who do you reckon's going to win this Grand Prix? Let me know some predictions in the chat. Will it be Spilly? Will it be Revolution? Will it be 40? Which I don't think it will be Revolution, unless 40 and Spilly pick up a lot of penalties. Revolution's potentially going to be dropping. Actually, no, I think Revolution will drop to P3. And at this stage, it's going to be 40 winning the race, Spilly P2, and then Revolution P3. That is your top 3 at the moment, but let me know some predictions in the chat. I'll try and read them out on stream. 36 now. 40 starts that lap. So I think Aaron actually did have to make a pit stop. He did. So Aaron could be on for some points though still, because he's going to be catching up to Banana Cake Pie, who's on 18 lap old hards, and Zach Crichton, who's on 21 lap old mediums. So Aaron's on fresh soft tyres. So we could potentially see, well, I think Aaron will easily get ahead of his teammate. But if he catches Zach Crichton or not will be another question. Obviously, Zach does still have that fastest lap, which I think Aaron might try and take off him. This is now actually 1.0 seconds between Revolution and 40. Spilly's lost off massively, so is that gap out to 3.6? So he hasn't actually lost off massively. I think 40's tyres have just hit a wall now, and he's not going to be able to. They're just dropping down massively, and he's not going any faster. Revolution's tyres, they're both the same age, but Revolution is on the harder compound. They're just going to survive so much better than the Ferraris. So if these two jostle for position, this will only be helping Spilly. I think the smart thing for Revolution here, actually no, well, Revolution won't care because he'll be finishing P3 either way. Actually no, okay, this is changing massively. Sorry. Revolution actually does need a push here because he's got Swaggy in position 14 at the moment. And I think we might see a move here from Revolution, not heading into turn 1 and 2 and 3, but maybe into turn 4. I think that's where we'll see the move from the McLaren driver. He's going to have DRS here, short shifts up into 5th gear. Has Slipstream and DRS available to him. He's got the run. Does he go to the inside line? He's thinking about it. But he's going to have to sit behind the Ferrari for a little bit longer. He's not taking any risks. They are on the penultimate lap of the race. But this is only going to be helping Spilly if these guys keep battling as they do. This is not going to be helping 40 at all. So 40 does not want Revolution to be battling with him. But Spilly wants these two to be battling all day long because this is only going to allow him to potentially win this race. Aaron now goes fastest, so he will take that off Zach Crichton. And look at this gap now between Zach and Aaron. 0.2 of a second. Does Aaron get the move done easily? I don't think Zach puts up too much of a fight. He doesn't. He knows he's not going to be able to hold on to it, but he is trying to hold it around the outside though, and Zach's gone into a half spin. Well, he hasn't actually gone into a half spin. He was drifting that corner. And he's now lost the spot to Aaron, so Aaron will get himself up into the top 9. Zach will still take home points, but Toddy now actually into the pit lane, so I'm not too sure what's happened there to the Williams driver. I think he'll be trying to go fast lap on the final lap of the Grand Prix because obviously he has not started that final lap, but he needs to push pretty hard here. He needs to make sure he doesn't get lapped by X Revolution, who's actually taken the lead of the Grand Prix. Unfortunately, we missed that. I do apologise. But 40 now has dropped down into position 2, but I believe at this stage he can still hold on to it because if I go to interval, actually it's 3.6 seconds now between 40 and Spilly. So we need to remember Revolution, 12 seconds of penalties. I believe 40 still just has that 3. He does. Oh no, he's got another penalty. 6 seconds. And what has Spilly got? 6 seconds as well. Oh, no, okay, so they're both equal now. So that's... I've hyped that up massively. So, at this stage, it will be X Revolution that will come across the line to win the Grand Prix on track, as they are now on the final lap of the Grand Prix. You can see the fireworks are about to begin here in the stadium section for the Mexican Grand Prix. Revolution will come around the final corner. He will win the Mexican Grand Prix on track, but it will be 4022 who takes the Mexican Grand Prix for Ferrari. Spilly will come home position 2. Then it will be Revolution will drop down in position 3 for McLaren. Gaming Burger round the final corner now. Will he be able to hold on to P4? He does hold on to P4. Swaggy will be P5. What will Crossy be able to do though? I believe he only has 1 penalty. He comes up to the line and he will jump up ahead of Swaggy into position 5. Goes Crossy. P6 will be Plebs actually. Then it will be Swaggy. Where will Pure Gold come? Will he jump his teammate? I don't think he will. He does hold on to position 8. Where will Aaron come? Aaron will come home position 9 for Red Bull. Good recovery drive from Aaron. It's definitely, I believe, deserving of the Hard Charger Award, if that is what we want to call it. Banana Cake Pie and P10 will take home points for Red Bull. Banana Goes on a lot how he never scores points, and he will be scoring points here this afternoon for Red Bull. Provisionally, we need to point out as well, obviously, penalties have not been applied. Zach Crum will not score any points here this afternoon. After that, I can't even remember what happened now. He actually crashed with Tonsa, so unfortunately we have we don't know what's happened with them. I will try and find out what's happened. Breno in P12, P13 will be BK, Todd's in P14, and Curving Texas on the wet compound of Ty. I don't believe Toddy was able to actually get that fastest lap. I will confirm that for you now. Actually, he did get the fastest lap at 15.5, so he will take that off Aaron. He actually went pretty much a lot quicker there than Toddy, so good job from him. He will take that point off Aaron L3 F4, so the championship's going to be mucked around massively here, so we're waiting for Curving. Let's ride on board with him. He's trying to drift the car. He's using traction control, which I believe he's at fuel as well, so you can see all the Mexican fans. He's now got himself a 3-second penalty ready for corner cutting. But stay tuned as well, guys. We'll try and get some post-race interviews for you guys as well. We'll try and get 40 Spilly Revolution into the party. Actually, yeah, I think we'll get 40 Spilly, maybe Toddy and Zach, just for some insight, because Revolution does not have a mic still somehow. And Revolution doesn't start, sorry, not Revolution, Curving doesn't style, comes across the line backwards. So we'll be back with you shortly. Stay tuned for some post-race interviews.
Try to work you out.
All right, so here we have a couple of drivers here from the Mexican Grand Prix from the PS4 Pacific Series Tier 1 League. We'll start off with you, 40. Obviously, congratulations on winning the Mexican Grand Prix for round 18 of the championship. How does that feel, considering you've now have got your little battle between Revolution and Aaron, closing that gap between those guys, and obviously making sure that Zach didn't win that championship this afternoon?
Yeah, I guess my main focus wasn't really on Zach winning it this afternoon. It was more so just closing the gap to Aaron and Revolution, and I felt pretty confident around Mexico, so I tried to use that to my advantage, and thankfully I was able to come home with a win.
So obviously you were battling there very early in the race with a couple of drivers, and you managed to pull yourself a 2-second-ish lead midway through that race. Was your plan always to do a one stop, or did you always think about doing that 2-stop?
Nah, I knew the mediums could go the distance, so I was always set on the one stop. If a safety car came out or a VSC even, I might have ducked in for a new set of soft tyres, but I wasn't planning on pinning again if it was green flag running for the whole race, and if I could just maintain that 2-second gap I had majority of the race, I was pretty happy with where I was situated.
We'll move on to you now, Spilly. Obviously, it looked like you were actually in contention to potentially win that race on time penalties for a little bit of that Grand Prix. Unfortunately, picking up that last time penalty that you got just completely cost you. But how was your race? Obviously, battling with Revolution for a lot of that, swapping positions, heading down that start-finish straight for a lot of the laps. Talk us through your race.
Unlike 40, my plan was a 2-stop, and then I was looking at the chat on the live stream, and I saw that apparently mediums can go way further, and ended up sticking it out. Also, because 40 was pretty quick, and his tires didn't really die until towards the end when the tires were at about 70%. Me and Extra Evolution weren't really battling. I sort of let him through to try and close the gap to 40 because I knew he had 3 seconds extra.
Yep.
And then I got one on fourth last lap on lap 32, 33. And in the end I fell out of DRS and didn't end up getting within that 3 seconds, but it was a good race. Congrats to 40 on the win.
Obviously, yeah, you were having a really good battle with Revolution for a lot of that race. But we'll move on to you now, Crossy. Obviously didn't finish on the podium. Looked like you were on for a potential top 5 there for a lot of that race. Actually, where did you finish? Sorry, I've completely forgot. Where did you finish? Fifth. You did finish fifth. Never mind. So you did finish in the top 5 for Ferrari, and I believe now that Ferrari are on top of the constructors because both Mercedes didn't actually finish in the points. So I believe you have a 15-point advantage around there over Mercedes heading into the last couple of rounds, or heading into the United States Grand Prix. Talk us through your race. Obviously, your tyres look like they fell off a lot heading into the final, I'd say, 8 laps. You were battling... I can't even remember who you were battling with now. I've completely just forgot about your race, I'll be honest. I was watching it. I was watching you a fair bit though, but I've just completely forgot who you were battling. It was Swaggy, yeah. It was Swaggy you were battling with.
Swaggy and Burger.
Yeah, Gaming Burger, that's who I was wanting to talk about. Yeah. You were battling with him a lot. You were doing the same as what Spilly and Revolution were doing a lot, heading into turn 1, just slipstreaming each other. But talk us through your race and how that panned out for you and how your tyres were at the end of the race as well.
Yeah, I was struggling going into this race. I was struggling to actually sort of set up it into it.
Yep.
But going to it, I felt good on the softs. I felt like I had a decent amount of pace on the softs, but my car just didn't hook up on the mediums. Just couldn't get the tyres in the right temperature. Just constantly understeering, and just really early knew that I needed to minimise the penalties to end up getting a decent result. Sort of mind my own business, and P5 after the past couple of weeks is pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good result there for yourself. And obviously, as I've said a couple of times, Ferrari are now leading the constructors' standings. But we'll go back to you, 40. Obviously, this does help your championship battle for position 2. Zach Crichton did not score any points this afternoon, so that gap is going to drop down. But that, as you said, is not your main focus in this championship. It is to get P2 and secure that ahead of X Revolution and Aaron. Obviously, Aaron had a very poor qualifying session. So what was your plan heading into the race? Were you just trying to win? Were you aiming to win the race, or were you just trying to make sure you stayed ahead of X Revolution to try and get ahead in the championship standings?
I guess just try to break DRS early on, and thankfully I was able to do so when Swaggy and Revolution were both battling. So that gave me a chance to extend it ever so slightly. When I went in the pits and I jumped on the mediums and I saw Revolution was in the hards, that also gave me the incentive that I was going to be able to pull that second, because the hards are very bad at the start of their stint compared to the mediums. So I guess just maintain that gap and be careful on the time penalties, because that's definitely where you can lose the race. And with Revolution getting 12, I knew that if worse comes to worse, I'm still going to beat him, but I still wanted to finish ahead of Spilly, who was putting the pressure on. So thankfully I was able to come away with a win. I was pretty fair on the track limits, I think, with only 6 seconds. So happy to walk away with that one.
It was a great race there. Thank you guys for joining the stream for some post-race interviews. Congratulations on your results. Thank you everyone for joining the stream as well. My name is Expert, and I'll see you guys for round 19 at the United States Grand Prix.